Alright, so you know what time it is. Back for another group dynamics video. Today we gonna get into Jodeci forever, my lady. You got me feeling. I ain't doing too much today, but you know I gotta give you a little song. So we gonna get into the Jodeci group dynamics today. So off top, we got four members in Jodeci. We got Devante, who is a Libra. We have KC, who is a Virgo. We have Jojo, who is a Gemini, and we have Dalvin. My bad, my bad. No disrespect. Mr. Dalvin. Yeah, man. You gotta respect the Leo. Put the Mr. on it. Mr. Dalvin. And like I said, he's a Leo. So let's get into it. So first off, we have two sets of brothers in the group. So Devante and Dalvin are brothers. That's the Libra and the Leo. They're brothers. Let's see. Devante is the oldest and Dalvin is the youngest. And then we have Casey and JoJo, who are brothers. And Casey is the oldest and JoJo is the youngest. So off the bat, we know with Devante and Dalvin, there's probably going to be some power struggles because we have Libra, which is a cardinal sign, which is an air sign. So, alright, let me break it down for you. So, Devante, his birthday is September 29th, and he is a Libra. So, what do we know about Libra? We know Libra is all about balance. Libra is all about the we. Libra is about relationships. It's an air sign. It's about communication, ideas, thought patterns, and Libra is also ruled by Venus, so we know Libra is going to love to relate. A Libra is going to like nice things. A Libra is going to be, you know, some say vain, just a little bit. Libra just enjoys the finer things in life, flat out. So now with Dalvin being a Leo, he's also going to be, a little flashy. Leo's the, king on the throne. You got to respect the throne. So he's going to like to have, his nice things. He's going to show you what he has. So if he has a lot, then he's going to want to wear that. He's going to have the 10 chains. He's going to have the flashy clothing. He's going to let you know, I got it. You feel me? And you better not touch it or it's going to be a problem. Straight up. So as brothers, they probably, that was probably brotherly competition between them as far as, who could be the flyest, who can get the most females. Because remember, Libra is all about relating and Leo is all about, relationships. Let me get a little bit more into Leo before I get into how they vibe. My bad. So Leo is a fixed sign. So we know that Leos, once they've made up their mind that it is what it is and don't try to move them from it. Leo is also a fire sign, so a Leo's going to bring that spark. So Leo's fixed fire is going to bring that spark, but it's going to stay in one spot. That's why it has to, draw you into it. It has to wear those fly things. It has to be flashy and, do the most and be dramatic sometimes and theatrical, draw the attention to themselves for the good or for the bad. So like I was saying, that probably created a lot of, brotherly competition between the two as far as like who can get the most women or who's the flyest and things like that because both of them, enjoy pleasurable things and like to show off and like to, have a lot of women and date a lot. And because remember, Leo is also about romance. It's that fifth house. It's that fun love. It's that dating. It's all of that romance, So that was probably, some brothers are like fight a lot and stuff like that. That probably wasn't their dynamic. They were just like, yeah, I look better than you. Nigga. I got more hoes than you. Da da da. Look, I called one right now. Like that was their vibe. Like now with Libra being a cardinal sign, Devante oftentimes probably try to take charge a lot, and him being the older brother, this probably, he probably was able to get away with it a little bit more because remember, Leos typically they like to run things. They like to be in charge. They like to be the boss or what have you. So, he probably didn't take to that too well with Devante being a cardinal sign and always trying to run things and kind of tell what to do and where to go. This is how he probably didn't take too well to that. So that probably caused conflict between them. But he also probably had a lot of respect for him because he had a lot of reason to it. And with Leo being a fire sign, this is a lot of times why you see Leos and Libras get along well, because a Libra can like explain things and break things down and provide reason and logic behind like a lot of the actions that the Leo likes to take. Because sometimes you'll see Leos will act because they're a fire sign. They're going to act. They're about their actions. They're about getting it done. So a lot of times they may not be able to explain what they're doing or break it down to you or make sense of it. So a lot of times a Libra will be able to do that, so they can bring that full perspective and kind of give a Leo kind of that, guidance that they need, sometimes to channel that fire. You know what I mean? So this is why, like, Devante was actually the one who started the Jodeci. So Devante and Jojo were the first two members of Jodeci. Remember that cardinal sign, and then his little brother, then Dalvin had came in, and he was able to after they made a deal or what have you, because Jojo didn't want Casey in the group and Devante didn't want Dalvin in the group, so they made a deal that both of them would be in the group because one wanted the other, one didn't. You see what I'm saying? So that's how that happened. It also makes sense that the two air signs in the group will be the two that initially started the group, because remember they're both interested in relating. So whereas the earth sign and the fire sign may have went on their own and they were creating, like Casey already had a group prior to Jodeci or Delve his own group, like he would have took his own talents and went and did that. And then Dalvin the Leo, he was already doing his own thing. He had whatever he had going on already, so they were more so prone to that. Whereas Dalvin the Libra and Jojo the Gemini, they were willing to collaborate together and bring their talents together to create music. They weren't necessarily focused on their own talents alone. They knew that if they brought it together it could be stronger, and they probably were readily, available to receive what the other person had to offer, because they weren't so focused on solely what they had to bring. Because remember, Devante did all the writing for the group, so Casey recognized, like, yeah, I can, not Casey, sorry, Jojo recognized, yeah, I can sing, I can bring a voice, but he can write. So we need to bring that together and we'll be even stronger. So you see how those two air signs coming together kind of made that thing start. And with Devante being a cardinal sign, he was really the first one to have that spark. He even had the idea. He was the first one to even want to go to New York and tell everybody else. The cardinal sign, he's the one getting it started, getting it going. Like I said before, Devante as that Libra, he was able to give his little brother, offer his little brother direction somewhere for him to proceed, to put his talents versus just being out there, just, being able to sing and dance and what have you, and having those capabilities, but not really knowing what to do with it, not really knowing which direction to go. He was able to provide that for his brother, you know what I mean? So that's how that Leo Libra dynamic worked. And then with his little brother with him, he was probably able to go a lot further because he had that fire behind him, he had that drive, he had that fixed fire behind him. We're going to keep going regardless of what it is. And then along the way, Dalvin was actually able to provide him with some type of stability because he began to do like the production. So, okay, you're writing it, he's producing it, you're coming together to make these songs, and then the two main singers, Casey and Jojo, are bringing it together. So that's their group dynamic. Now, with Casey and Jojo, Casey is the oldest brother and Jojo is the youngest brother. Casey, Virgo, Jojo, Gemini, both signs. You realize both signs are ruled by Mercury. So it makes sense that, growing up, he said that they had a lot of sibling rivalry, and he always felt like he was in Casey's shadow and things like that. And the reason that he even started singing with Devante is because he wanted to get out of Casey's shadow. So you see that Mercury playing in both of them, where they're both singers. They both write, they both have similar interests. They both like to turn up together. They both like to, party and all of that, indulge and access and all of that. So, but also, you see that both of them made decisions that were strategic. Like, both of them were kind of able to go with the flow, and that has to do with them being mutable sign. So these are the two that we were still seeing even once the group broke up, they went on and they became Casey and Jojo. So these were the two who were able to move and shake with, the ups and downs of the group or what have you. So even after Jodeci broke up, they were able to move on as a duo and they were able to keep going. They were able to be mutable, but that's because they're both mutable signs. Even in the beginning, we saw that Casey was willing to leave his own group that he already had behind in order to take on, what he felt like was a better opportunity. He was able to move and shake. He was able to do, even though he already had his own group and he felt like they were talented or what have you, and it was his. He saw the opportunity. He left. He kept it moving. That's that mutability. That's that Mercury. That's that putting the pieces together and looking at everything on the table and seeing what actually comes out to matter, what's actually going to amount to dollars and cents at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? And he made that move. So you see that Virgo in him, where it's that mutable earth, where he's looking at the bottom line at the end of the day, and he's going to make those moves based on what's going to bring in that income, that matter, those four walls, that dollars and cents. Like I said, what matters at the end of the day, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Earth sign shit. You know what I mean? Now with KC, where we were able to see his mutability, where he decided to compromise when it came to even letting KC in the group, because he didn't want KC in the group. So he was able to compromise, and he was mutable, and he was like, okay, I know I want Dalvin in the group so I can get these hoes. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and give a little bit and let KC be in the group, and you know what I mean, let it do what it do. Instead of moving and shaking, see, I need to get this, so I'm gonna go ahead and do what I need to do to get it. Like, period, move and shake. Let's do the math in my head. Hold on, let's add it up for a second. You feel me, Mercury? Let's do the math real quick. Let's break it down. So remember, with Jojo being a Gemini and Casey being a Virgo, both of those are in the first half of the zodiac. So they're self-oriented for the most part. They're worried about themselves. They're worried about self-preservation. It's not about, oh, you're my brother, I need to make sure you know. I got to get me right first. Let me make sure I'm good. Then I'll worry about we. So, okay, this is going to benefit me. Okay, cool. Bet. Okay, bet you could be in it. You know what I mean? Okay, this is the best move. Okay, bet. Let me do that. But it's not like, oh, just because you're my brother, you should automatically be in my group. Like, no, this is my group. You feel me? It's about me. I'm trying to separate myself from you. So, bringing you along wasn't a part of the plan. So, I holla. But then it became beneficial to him. So it wasn't about his talent, or he just felt like his brother was such a great singer, even though he probably did. He just wanted to step away from me. But I need to get these hoes. You know what I mean? We need some swag in the group, so we need Dalvin. So I guess I'll just have to compromise. I gotta, bring what they say, bring some ass to get some ass. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period. So it makes sense that the Libra in the group would do all of the writing, especially of like the songs that are most well known. Because we know that Libra, and it also makes sense that he was the one to bring the group together to begin with, because remember, Libra is all about the we. So Libra is all about bringing relationships together and being relationship oriented, building those relationships with different people and communicating, and like I said, making pleasurable things. So when he writes his songs, they're going to be pleasurable, to whatever he's relating to. And he said he used to like write songs for his girlfriend and things, so that's who he's relating to at the moment. He liked women, so he was going to write a bunch of songs about women. Remember that Venusian quality. Remember that seventh house. He's all about relationships. He's going for the ladies. Like, that's what it's all about. So it makes sense that the Libra in the group will be the one that's writing all the songs for the ladies. You know what I mean? All the songs about relationships and relating to other people and things like that. And it would make sense that everything that he writes would, be able to be enjoyed by the masses, because remember, he's considering that while he's writing it. You know what I mean? He's making sure that when he writes it, it's something that anyone can relate to. You don't necessarily have to be in this age group or within this. It's just going to be overall relatable. And it's going to be enjoyable, because remember that Venus. So he's going to wrap it up in all in a package that's, beautiful. And then you need the voices to come in, so that's where you get the Mercury. That's where you bring in the Jojo and the KC. They're going to bring the vocals. They're going to bring the voices. You know what I mean? They're going to bring the talent to the group. And then you got the Leo on production. He's going to make it bigger. I shouldn't just call him the Leo. I should say his name like everybody. Then you got Dalvin doing the production and making it bigger. bring that fire behind it, bringing that bounce to it, making it so it, when it hit that ear, like, you know what I mean? When it hits your ear, it's hit, and like, you know what I mean? He brings that creativity. Like, I don't like to say creativity because that's more so something I describe for like Venus, but like Leo has a lot of creativity too, but it's different. It's like it's bigger, it's brighter. It's going to be like, it's not necessarily about relating to you. It's just about like creating the best thing that you can create for you, not necessarily even for somebody else. Now, if everybody else loves it, that's cool too. Because remember, you're Leo, you're on the stage, so that's cool too. Okay, then y'all feeling it, but I'm doing this for me, for real. You know what I mean? It's not about relating to you. So that would be the difference between the Venus creativity and the Sun creativity in the fifth house. Alvin would even say like they would intentionally do different things, like different beats and things like that, that would intentionally be different and hit your ear different, so you would, automatically know it was them and it was their unique sound and things like that, and he would intentionally do those type of things in production. You know what I mean? Then Dalvin would bring the words in, and then like I said, Casey and Jojo would bring the vocals in, and you got to hit. Flat out, you got to hit. And and Dalvin is also on the cusp of Cancer, so he's gonna be able to bring that feel. Like I said, he's gonna bring that feel too. He's gonna bring that moment. Like now, as far as the entire group goes, Casey was the oldest, and it looks like Dalvin was the youngest. So it makes sense why Casey was able to get away with a lot of the stuff that he was able to get away with, because you remember Casey used to always be the one like in trouble, and he date and marry and fighting and everything else, and all the women and all the drama. He's the one that you always hear in the controversy. Like Casey, 9 times out of 10 is the one you can hear that got into something, and then he like was engaged or said he wasn't engaged and all kinds of other stuff. Like it was, but like that makes sense. He's the oldest. He felt like he can do whatever he want, and he was the lead singer. You're the oldest and you're the lead singer. But a lot of times, even in like interviews and things like that, like you can get a glimpse of their personality. Because a lot of times, like in the earlier days when Devante would actually like show up to the interviews and stuff, like a lot of times they would defer to him, and that makes sense because him and Casey are the same age, but Casey is just like a couple days older than him type. But like that makes sense because he's the oldest. He does all the writing. He's producing all the hits. He's the cardinal sign, so he's gonna be the first one to like step up and say whatever. And he's the most relatable, so he knows they know that he's gonna be able to put it out there in a way that people are gonna, at least receive it well, even if it's something that's not so pleasure. You know what I mean? Not so pleasant to take in. He's gonna be able to put it in a way that people are gonna enjoy it, and like there was like a lot of the females like love Devante and stuff like that. He was like a ladies man and whatnot. Him and like I said, his brother Dalvin, which makes sense. So and then like once they got older and like Devante wasn't doing interviews with them anymore, you could see that the Gemini and the Virgo were the ones that really spoke the most. Remember that Mercury behind them? They were the ones that did the TV show and like I said, show their mutability. They were able to, move and shake. Like I said, they had a TV show. They were still doing concerts. They formed an entirely different group. Like they were able to still go and move, and they would always communicate. They were always letting you know what was going on, even if we didn't see them for a while. They would find a way to communicate what was going on with them, type of thing. Like that's that Mercury. Like they're always going to try to, make sense of it, or put the pieces together, organize it, you know what I mean, make it make sense. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we still, even to this day, still see them, like, they'll do interviews here and there, go on tour and stuff like that, and then they don't like run from topics or things like that. Like they'll address it, like when Jojo passed that on stage, like he made jokes about it and stuff. Like that's that Gemini. He's gonna be lighthearted about it. It's gonna be tongue in cheek, like he's an air sign, like you know what I mean, like whatever. Like I was doing too much that day. Like it is what it is. But with Jojo, like you can see, like he definitely has two different sides. Cause it's like even back in the day, like he was always like quiet, laid back when he didn't really really say too much. He kind of played like the shy role a little bit, like he wouldn't say too much, but then like you see him like on stage, he's like, you know what I mean, total opposite. Like you see that Gemini in him, where it's just like you wilding out, but like you demure now, like now you laid back, like you won't talk, like. But then, I mean, at the behind the scenes, you turned up. Like, as soon as you get a chance, you turned up right with the rest of them. You over here with those, right with the rest of them. Like, and it's just like that dichotomy where it's like he wanted to be in the group, but then he's like, I want to be the star. Like, I don't want to be in anybody else's shadow. Like, you see that dichotomy playing out a lot with Jojo, even like within his personality, where you'll be like, is this the same nigga who was on the last interview? Like, he wouldn't even say a word. Like, now you switching up. Like, he passed out like him, like you can't, he ain't doing that. Like, you know, they all holy and things like that. Like, you see a lot of that in Jojo, where it's just like, really, like really, like you came from the church and that's your whole background and all of that, and you play quiet and a submissive role, but then like when he speaks, he talks like, you know, he doesn't want to be in anybody else's shadow, and he's just individual and independent. But it's like that's total opposite of like, bro, where are you coming from with it? Like, what are you doing? Type of thing. Which probably caused internal conflict within him too, because remember, KC ended up being the lead singer in his group that he initially started with someone else. So, mm. So that was all about Jodeci's group dynamics. So, my lady, it's like a dream. Sing with me if you know it. Don't be shy. I'm holding you close. You're keeping me warm. Watch, y'all finna go listen to that right now. Watch. Alright, I'm done. So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you kick back with some of my other videos. Check out that Hot Boys group dynamics video. Let me know what you think down below. Come on with it.